Next, we're going to add in our internal walls. If we go to our wall tool, we can just go to our type selector and change the type. So if we just scroll down to wall partition, 12 plasterboard, 70mm stud and 12 plasterboard. Again, if you now open up the PDF 004 internal walls, you can follow along. First off, I'm going to go to my grid line C. My drawing method will be by line, constrained to height, first floor. My location on, I'm going to leave on for wall center line for now. Chain, yes. So I'm going to go from the center point of that column directly across and attach to the outer face. As you can see in the PDF, all of those walls are equally spaced between each other. So what we can do is just hover over the edge of that wall and we'll get a triangle, which is our midpoint. And same again, once we get the triangle, it's the midpoint. So they're all equally spaced. We can go over to the right hand side. So with the Revit, what we want to do is we just want to place everything first, and then afterwards we can come back and position it with more accuracy. So I'm just going to draw in roughly where I think everything is. Like so. And then afterwards, then I can go in and make sure that those dimensions are correct. So first one here, the distance from the face of that plasterboard on the external wall to the face of the plasterboard of the partition is 2100. So if I select my partition, because I want to move my partition, if I select the external wall, my external wall will move. So I'll select my partition, the temporary dimension will appear, and you can see there it's 2137.5. So to adjust its position, I'll select the text, change it to 2100 and press enter. So this wall here is at the center point, same here. And so these walls here are 2000 down. So if I select my middle wall, you can see my temporary dimension is 2302.5. If your temporary dimension is snapping to the column like so, we can adjust its position. So with that blue grip, I'll click, drag and move it up to the face of the plasterboard and let go. Now I can change the text to 2000. And to change this wall down here, if I now enter 2000 here, it's going to move the wall that's highlighted. So you got to make sure that you select the correct wall before you move it. So I'm going to undo that. Now that we want to move this wall, I'll select this wall here, and now I'll change my temporary dimension and click away. So next I want to do this nice curved wall here. So to do that, I'm just going to, again, just roughly draw in the walls where I think they belong. And there's another one there. So draw on those nice straight walls. Afterwards, we can add in those curves. So the first thing is the distance between the vertical partition and the external wall. You can see there it's set to 2800. So come down to my temporary dimensions, change that to 2800. Okay, so next we want to get that curve between the two walls. So we go to our wall tool, select fillet arc, select the two walls. If we get that warning symbol, if we just go across to the other side, we can place it and it will generate on the other side. Once it's placed, we can then select it and change the radius, which is 2200. We'll do the same for the bottom. And select 2200. And that's how we generate those nice curves. So with our partitions on grid line C here, we can see that the partition is cutting right into the brick and going to the blockwork. Again, the reason for this is because of our wall boundaries. So the metal stud in between here has its own boundaries as well as our block work. So there are two boundaries connecting to each other. So the brick is completely ignored as well as the plasterboard for our partition. So in the real world, this isn't going to happen. We're not going to have a metal stud cutting right through a brick. So what we can do is we can disallow the join of that wall and pull it back. So what we'll do is we'll select the wall and right click on the grip. And there we have disallowed join. And then we'll just click and drag the grip away and attach it to the face of the brickwork. This little symbol here is the joining symbol. So if I ever wanted them to rejoin, I'll just click and it will rejoin.